My name is Julee Flood. I'm running for seat 8 on the North Carolina Court of Appeals. I live in Holly Springs. I've been there since 2003 and just love my community. My judicial philosophy is that of a textualist. And what that means is that I strongly believe the law says what it says and means what it says. And just as importantly, it doesn't mean what it doesn't say. It's a form of originalism whereby I would look to the text, whether it's of the constitutions or of statutes, to discern the meaning of the original words of those texts. I'm also a firm believer in stare decisis, letting decisions stand unless those decisions are just blatantly wrong and or harmful. I believe in the Madisonian principles of the separation of powers and that judges should not be legislators in black robes. And I fully adhere to the mission of the judiciary and want to provide a fair and just judiciary. And I think the way to do that is by having laws that are stable and predictable and not influenced by politics. And I believe that a textualist perspective helps to further that goal. I currently wear 2 hats. The first thing that I do related to the Court of Appeals is that I am an attorney working with Judge Jeff Carpenter, and I research and analyze and draft judicial opinions for him and advise as to votes on cases, give him my best professional input. The other hat that I wear is I serve as an attorney and a business entrepreneur in a private sector business that I'm a co-owner of. I have about almost 60 employees in multiple states, and at this point I'm in a primarily advisory role whereby I focus on the legal and human resource aspects of the business. So hiring and the policies affecting the well-being and the happiness of the employees and the stability of the company. When I was younger, like many young girls, I think, I actually wanted to be a veterinarian and have certainly had the menagerie and went through my first college degree thinking that was the path I was headed in. Actually, I have a bachelor's and a master's in animal sciences with specialty in equine nutrition and physiology, and thoroughly enjoyed that, but just decided that as a career path, I actually did not want to go into veterinary medicine, and so I married a veterinarian instead. Outdoor activities such as walking, I love fitness classes like Zumba. I am an equestrian, a rider. I really enjoy just kind of getting out into the woods and doing some riding from time to time. So I would say those are outside of work type things that I really enjoy. I'm gonna date myself here big time, but my first car was a Volare. So it's, I can still hear the commercials where they sang about it. I'm not sure it's quite that exciting a car to sing about, but that was my first car. I'd have to say barbecue on that one. My mother's from Eastern North Carolina. My father's from the mountains, Western North Carolina. I still have family in both locations and everywhere in between, so I have the benefit of not having to choose one style or the other, and I just really enjoy both and kind of the good-natured ribbing about it back and forth. I look forward to the day of getting to talk to Jesus and to learn more about God's plan and God's will. There are certainly others throughout history, more mortal beings that I would enjoy meeting. I think going back to George Washington, I would be fascinated at learning more about his desire to serve. I don't think he actually sought the presidency so much as others sought his service. I really admire that and would love to learn more about that. The Court of Appeals is a really important court, and it's much lesser known perhaps than the trial courts, which tend to be local and people are familiar with, or the Supreme Court that gets a lot of the publicity. But the Court of Appeals hears about 1,000 cases each year, and only 10 to 15% of those go on to the Supreme Court. So I would just encourage North Carolinians, voting citizens, to know more about the court, the fact that all citizens in North Carolina can vote for this court. It's not by districts. It's very important that you choose your judges wisely and choose those who adhere to what the law says. One thing that I've been saying is that I really like the sound of Judge Julee after having worked in the courts for so long. And also I want voters to know that I've been working very hard to help make this red wave happen. And I hope for that red wave to end with a flood. That's Julee Flood at julieflood.com. Thank you.